Hello, good morning. Yeah, today's class is going to be about sleep. Sleep is a very important phenomenon. Suppose you are not able to sleep for a single day, the next day you feel the effect of it, and your higher intellectual functions may be derailed. And if the sleep, if you do not sleep for a number of days, your motor functions also gets delayed, and therefore sleep is a very important part of your life. And about 1/3 of your life period is spent in sleep. Therefore, it's nothing but a state of unconsciousness from which the individual can be aroused by a sensory other stimuli. This stimuli can be touch stimuli, it can be sound calling a person when he is sleeping, or it can be a this sensory, this smell. Recently, we have seen how this pungent smell from HPCL gas in Visakhapatnam has affected so many people. Therefore, so many people have aroused from this because of this pungent smell. That is one sort of sensory stimuli. And also, we have other thermal, hot or cold thermal stimulation. This can also make a person get up from sleep. Even animals sleep. Most of the animals sleep. There's a debate about whether the fish sleep or not. As I already said, a normal man spends about 1/3 part of his lifespan in sleep, almost 1/3 part. An average sleep time per day, that is an average in an infancy, it is about 16 hours. 16 hours in a day. In an adult, it varies from 7 to 8 hours. Because childhood it's about 10 hours, and during old age, it is less than 8 hours. And during the sleep period, the anterior pituitary hormone becomes activated, and more of the growth hormone is secreted here. And therefore, you can see how important it is for an infant to sleep, because most of the growth occurs during the sleep period. Therefore, at an average, an adult should sleep for 7 to 8 hours. Yeah, average I've told you about 16 hours. The average ranges from 14 to 17 hours. That is a newborn child between 0 to 3 months. Newborn child between 0 to 3 months. For 10 to 13 hours. Preschool child, that is age 3 to 5 years. 0 to 3 months, 14 to 17 hours sleep is necessary. For preschooler, about aged about 3 to 5 years, about 10 to 13 hours is necessary. And for 6 to 12 years age group, about 9 to 12 hours sleep. The sleep period is gradually decreasing as the age increases. Therefore, a 9 to 12 hours for a person age 6 to 12 years, and 8 to 12 hours for a 8 to 10 hours for a person age 13 to 18 hours. There's a clear picture how the sleep period is decreasing as the age increases. Therefore, newborn growth is most important, and most of the growth occurs during the sleep period. Here, anterior pituitary hormone secretes more of growth hormone. Therefore, here it is the sleep is very, very necessary for a newborn child. As the age increases, the period of sleep is decreasing. It is insomnia, it's a sleeplessness. The person is not able to sleep properly. Most of the patients coming to the medical office, and they also come to the psychiatric office, the complaints are they are not able to sleep. Insomnia, causes of insomnia, so many causes are there for insomnia. Some persons may sleep less and some persons may be more. On an average, about 4 to 10 hours is the average period. Some person may sleep for just 4 hours, and the others may sleep for 8 hours or 10 hours. A person acclimatized to sleep for 4 hours, he may be normal. If he is acclimatized to sleep for 4 hours, nothing, deterioration of high intellectual functions, nothing happens. Daily he may sleep at night 12 o'clock and get up at 4 o'clock, and then he is accustomed to that period. Therefore, it doesn't happen anything. Therefore, on an average, it's about 4 to 10 hours. A human being can sleep. It is different for different people. It is fixed for different people. Therefore, some people can cope up with 4 hours sleep. Some may sleep for more time. It is not fixed. It differs from person to person. And as I've already told you, the deep sleep deprivation is prolonged. First, the mental functions will be affected. Deterioration in the higher level functions of the brain. Deterioration will be seen. And if this sleep deprivation is prolonged for more time, then motor functions may also be affected, like tremors of hands, legs. The person may not be normal, shaking like that, and the nystagmus. The eye muscles may be weak, nystagmus, and the dysarthria, and this, whatever he says is not understood properly. Dysarthria, the word articulation is difficult. And a person who is not able to sleep properly, elevation of arterial BP may seen, and tachycardia are also seen within a case of person. These things are also be seen. BP may be increased and heart rate may be increased. And as I already said, that growth hormone increases. And the person who doesn't sleep, they say there's a high risk of cancer, obesity, weak immune system, and also risk of heart disease, increased blood pressure, and then if it's less sleep, he says there's 20% risk of early death. If a person is a 20% less of his lifetime. Blood pressure also 100% risk, less sleep, and heart disease also they are saying 100% risk. Therefore, these are obesity, risk of cancer. All these things are. When you sleep properly, your brain becomes recharged. If you sleep early morning, you'll be feeling fresh. Start a day in a fresh way. If you're not able to sleep properly, the day may not be so fresh. You'll be feeling a little bit disturbed. Your cells repair themselves during sleep. Your body releases important hormones. Therefore, see how important the sleep is. And what are the main features of sleep? The person appears to be cut off from the surroundings. The person appears to be cut off. And though it is not a state of coma, it is a state of unconsciousness. The person appears to be cut off from the environment. The threshold for various stimuli are substantially raised. Suppose a person who is active, if you just call him, he may respond. If you touch him, he may respond. But a sleeping person, he may not respond with a light touch or a wrist. If you are talking slow, low, if your sound is low, he may not respond. Therefore, the touch should be a little more, impact should be more, and then also this sound wave should also be more. It should be more. Therefore, threshold. This clearly shows that the threshold for various stimulations are substantially raised. Muscle tone is false. Muscle tone is decreased, and the muscles relax. Blood pressure, heart rate decrease, and rectal temperature falls. Respiration also becomes slower, but they become deeper as well. Therefore, blood pressure fall is there during sleep, heart rate fall is there, rectal temperature decrease is there, respiration becomes slower but deeper. And there may be snoring. If a person is sleeping in a supine position, the tongue may obstruct the air passages, and therefore it may result in snoring. Therefore, person seems to be cut off from his surrounding. Muscle tone, that is tone of the muscles decrease, blood pressure, heart rate, all these things decrease. Sleep-wake cycle, suppose in a 24 hours period, if you are sleeping for 8 hours and you are awake for 16 hours, then your sleep-wake cycle becomes 8 by 16. And if you are sleeping for 7 hours and you are awake for 17 hours, the sleep-wake cycle is 7 by 17. Sleep-wake cycle is not constant for all. It varies from person to person, and it is reasonably fixed for a individual person. Suppose a person is sleeping less for 1 or 2 days. He doesn't sleep properly for 1 or 2 days. It seems that he gets compensated for the lost hours of sleep by sleeping more the next few days, next 1 or 2 days. Therefore, this also happens. If you are deprived of sleep for 1 or 2 days, it's every possibility is there that the third day you will be sleeping more. Normally, the range of deviation of sleeping hours in a normal adult population is about 4 to 10 hours. 4 to 10 hours. That is, one person may sleep only for 4 hours, another person for 6 hours, another person for 8 hours, and some may sleep for 10 hours. Therefore, it is not fixed for each. Therefore, it varies. It depends upon his lifestyle. A person acclimatized to sleep for 4 hours, he must sleep every day for 4 hours only. Therefore, it is depends upon his daily activities and also his body. This thing, it all depends. But per day, infants sleep more, and older people they sleep less. A normal adult can withstand sleep deprivation without showing any normal, remarkable gross change. That is, any serious changes may not occur if a person fails to sleep for a few days, only for a few days. It's not that if he is continuously not sleeping, nothing will happen. It's not like that. Only a few days sleep deprivation can be visited by a normal person. If there's insomnia goes on for a very long time, then certainly remarkable changes are seen. Now let's go into the stages. Sleep. Suppose a person is sleeping for 8 hours. This 8 hours sleep is divided into 5 cycles. The 5 cycles each of 90 minutes duration. A person sleeping for 8 hours divided into 5 cycles, and they have 5 cycles. Each cycle is divided approximately 90 minutes each. And out of this, each cycle is again having 2 types of sleep pattern. That is non-REM sleep, non-rapid eye movement sleep, and rapid eye movement sleep. This non-REM sleep occupies about 70 minutes of that cycle of 90 minutes. And REM sleep occupies about 20 minutes of that cycle. And then again, the non-REM sleep is divided into 4 stages. First stage, second stage, third stage, and fourth stage. And the sleep pattern differs in each stage. Therefore, let us see one by one the stages of non-REM sleep and also about REM sleep. And each cycle, this non-REM sleep and REM sleep alternate with each other. As I've already told, the total 8 hours period is divided into, suppose we take a person is sleeping for 8 hours. That 8 hours period is divided into 5 cycles, approximately 90 minutes each. 90 minutes each cycle. Each cycle is having 2 types of sleep pattern, non-REM sleep and REM sleep. 90 minutes non-REM sleep and REM sleep 20 minutes. And therefore, this non-REM sleep and REM sleep alternate with each other. Yeah, we are seeing this non-REM sleep. Starting with non-REM sleep, it is a 4 stages. It is from a stage of light sleep. The person starts from a light resting period to just he closes his eyes. From a he just lays down on his bed and then just closes his eyes. That is the resting period. And from there he tries to sleep. And therefore, it is the first stage of NREM stage 1. It's a light sleep. The muscles activity slows down. Gradually, the muscles activity slows down. Occasional muscle twitching. After 5 to 15 minutes, the next stage, NREM stage, sets in. Brain does less complicated tasks. Breathing pattern slows. Breathing pattern slows. Heart rate slows. Decrease in body temperature. This is the next stage. That is from a stage of closing of eyes and a peaceful resting stage, we land into first stage of NREM sleep. That is light sleep. Your muscle activity, all muscle activity slow down. Occasional twitching may be there. And in the next stage, after 5 to 15 minutes, the brain calms down. The thinking process all gets subsided. And then breathing pattern slows. Heart rate slows. Body temperature, as already told you, all the rectal body temperature decreasing. And we, after another 15 minutes, what happened? Deep sleep begins. Then from first stage and second stage, you are seeing only light sleep. And then deep sleep begins. Body makes repairs. And slow delta waves generated. Here, deep sleep begins. Slow delta waves generated. And here, again, then we go into the stage. The slow delta waves are seen in EEG. We'll be discussing about EEG further in the further. And the NREM stage 4 we go. Then here what happens is body temperature slightly increases and BP decreases, body temperature. And here very deep sleep, rhythmic breathing, limited muscle activity, delta waves produced. Here also slow delta waves, here delta dome waves are there. Large dome waves called delta waves are produced. Here slow delta waves are produced. Here, therefore, these are the 4 stages. That is NREM 4 stages. First, very light sleep from a stage of closing of eyes. Then we gradually fall into sleep. We go into the second stage. Your brain activity decreases. Breathing and heart rate also slows down. And then we go into a further deep sleep, another 10 to 15, another 15 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes, and then the deep sleep begins. Here we see the slow delta waves. In the second stage, we see the sleep spindles we see in the second stage. Sleep spindles in the EEG we see. And then in the first stage, we see the low frequency, high frequency, low amplitude EEG waves. High frequency, low amplitude EEG waves. In the NREM stage 2, we see the mixed frequency, low amplitude EEG waves. Therefore, this is the picture. Here we see this delta waves, and in the third stage and fourth stage, we see dome-like delta slow waves. These are all slow waves. REM sleep shows fast waves. It's an active stage. REM sleep is a dreaming state. Here the increase in eye movements occur. Increase in eye movements occur, dreaming occurs, muscle tone is relaxed, your heart rate increases, and rapid and shallow breathing. All this cycle takes approximately 90 minutes, including REM sleep and NREM sleep. As I've already told you, 90 minutes duration and different, but this 90 minutes duration of different sleep stages are different in different cycles. It doesn't mean that each stage has the same duration. It is not like that. In the next cycle, one stage may be more, the other stage may be less. We'll be discussing in detail how in each stage this duration increases or decreases. Now coming to the non-REM sleep, which is in the first cycle, it is 85 minutes. In the first cycle, it is 85 minutes. And non-REM sleep, and REM sleep is only 5 minutes. In the first cycle, I've told you the total duration of the cycle is 90 minutes. Out of which I told you that it's 70 minutes in the non-REM and 20 minutes in the REM. But it is not fixed like that. It differs with each cycle. Now coming to the first cycle, the picture is like that. Non-REM sleep is about 85 minutes. Therefore, REM sleep is left with only 5 minutes in the first cycle. But the non-REM sleep, 85 minutes duration, gradually decreases in the coming cycles. And the REM sleep of 5 minutes gradually increases in the next cycles. Out of the total sleep period, the REM sleep occupies about 25%. Suppose 8 hours is the total sleep period. Out of this, 2 hours is the REM sleep. This is what I have been telling. Duration of REM sleep, which is only 5 minutes in the first cycle, increases progressively in the next cycles. And similarly, the NREM sleep, which is 85 minutes in the first cycle, decreases progressively in the next cycles. Now coming to stage wise, duration of, as I've already told you, non-REM sleep is about 4 stages are there. Now coming to the duration of stages 3 and 4 of non-REM sleep, it is maximum during the first cycle. The duration, in the first cycle, the whole duration is about 85 minutes. 85 minutes, out of this 85 minutes, duration of stages 3 and 4. The sleep of a non-REM cycle sleep passes into 4 stages, as I've already shown you in the figure. These are stages of from slow sleep, falling slightly to sleep, and then a slow light sleep, and then a deep sleep, and then deeper sleep, like that. Therefore, during this 3rd and 4th stages of REM sleep occupy the maximum time during the first cycle. And then they gradually decrease, and in the later cycles, they may altogether disappear. I hope you have understood. The total duration of NREM sleep is 90 minutes in the first cycle. Out of this 90, the NREM sleep is about 85 minutes in the first cycle, and REM sleep is only 5 minutes in the first cycle. Therefore, what happens is, out of these 85 minutes, durations of this non-REM sleep has 4 stages. Out of this 85 minutes, most of the sleep is occupied in the 3rd and 4th stage of non-REM sleep. But this, in the coming cycles, in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, we have 5 cycles. Therefore, in the first cycles, it is maximum in 3rd and 4th stage. But in the coming cycles, it gradually decreases and may even be absent altogether in the later cycles. Whereas REM sleep, which is only 5 minutes in the first cycle, may gradually decrease and increase, may gradually increase. Therefore, what is the picture is, NREM sleep slowly decreases, REM sleep slowly increases in the next cycles. Now coming to the 2nd stage of non-REM sleep. This increases gradually from first cycle onwards and may occupy most of the non-REM portion of the later cycle. Duration of 2nd stage of non-REM cycle increases progressively from the first cycle and may occupy most of the later cycles, non-REM portions of the later cycle. What was the picture previously? Duration of 3rd and 4th stages of non-REM cycle. The maximum in the first cycle and is gradually decreased and even disappeared in the later stages. And that was the picture. But what's happening during the duration of 2nd stage of non-REM cycle increases progressively from first cycle onwards and may occupy even most of the non-REM portion of the later cycle. About 50% of the entire sleep period is spent in 2nd stage of non-REM sleep. About 50% of entire sleep period, that is entire sleep period. Entire sleep period is divided into 5 cycles, as said. 90 minutes is. Out of this 90 minutes, about 50% of the entire sleep period is spent in 2nd stage of non-REM sleep. This REM sleep is 25%. Stage 1 NREM sleep is only 5%. Stage 2 NREM sleep is 45%. Stage 3 NREM sleep Stage 3, 25%. This is the picture, total picture. REM sleep only 25%. And the rest is the 70 minutes NREM sleep. After this NREM sleep, 5 minutes, 5% is in the first stage, 45%, and that is approximately 50%. I've told you, approximate picture, 45%. And the stage 3 is about 20%. As morning approaches, the individual may be periodically be awakened. This deeper disturbance is seen. As the morning approaches, the deeper nature of the sleep is not there. The sleep becomes lighter and it periodically gets up. This we have already discussed during a 90-minute cycle. And as I've already told, it occupies 70 minutes and the REM sleep the last 20 minutes. During sleep, EEG can be recorded, EMG and EOG. That is oculographic records, electrical encephalographic records, and all this, myelographic records, all this can be recorded. And different sleep disturbances can be diagnosed. This EEG, we admit the patients and then we can record the EEG in the night. There are sleep clinics also there. Suppose a patient, if you want to know the correct diagnosis of the patient, what is the effect of the sleep disturbances, we admit the patient and we record the EEG while the patient is during the sleep. We record it and we try to analyze and find out a proper diagnosis. Therefore, so many sleep clinics are there. In Andhra Pradesh, they are not much, but we have seen sleep clinics in a number of big cities. And now coming to REM sleep, the rapid eye movement sleep, the name itself tells us the eyeballs move frequently. The eyeballs move frequently, therefore we call it as a rapid eye movement sleep. And then the muscle relaxes, the tone is decreased, the muscles relaxed, the tone is decreased, and therefore this is a period when the subject dreams. Most of the REM sleep, rapid eye movement, the eyeballs move and the muscles, the tone is decreased, and most of the dreams come from this stage. It is a deep sleep. It is a deep sleep. They say that the eyeballs move because the subject is following the objects in the dream. The eyeballs are moving because they say it's following the images in the dream. That's the cause for movement of eyeball. There's a greater muscle relaxation, and this is a very protective phenomenon. Muscle relaxation. Suppose he's getting bad dreams or he's getting some disease, he doesn't get up from his bed and walks in his dream, the person will be injured, and therefore it is like as if he is tied to a bed, he is not able to move. The sense of paralysis is felt. Great muscle relaxation. This is a major protective effect. Therefore, even if the dreams are there and if he wants to get up, he's not able to move. The sense of paralysis. Protective, much needed protective mechanism. And the greater muscle relaxation, they say the greater muscle relaxation is this due to reticulopontine formation, and it results in, this is the pontine, reticulopontine, and this pontine signals the reticular tract, the reticulopontine, and they inhibit the muscles and it results in inhibition, and therefore any inhibitory interactions are the inhibitory interneurons are there. Inhibitory interneurons, alpha neurons, they're going into the muscles. This is an inhibitory area. This is therefore they are inhibiting the muscle action here. Pontine reticular formation, pontine reticular formation. They send the inhibitory interneurons landing on alpha meta neurons, which is supplying to the muscles, and there's a inhibitory effect, and therefore the person cannot move. We also call it as a paradoxical sleep because the eyeballs are moving as if the person is awake, and yet the sleep is deeper. Though the sleep is deeper, the eyeballs are moving as if he's getting up from the bed. Therefore, we call it as a paradoxical sleep. EEG pattern. EEG pattern of REM sleep is like that. High frequency, low amplitude. High frequency. EEG pattern is high frequency. Frequency is high, low amplitude. This is a pattern, beta rhythm. High frequency, low amplitude, beta rhythm. This is also called fast wave. High frequency. Frequency is high. Amplitude is low. Is also called fast wave sleep. Whereas NREM sleep is called as slow wave sleep. This is called as fast wave sleep, low amplitude, and this is a beta rhythm. This is the pattern of REM sleep. Now let's see what are the changes during REM sleep. As we have already discussed, tone is decreased, rapid eye movement, heart rate, respiration rate becomes irregular. They become irregular. Rapid eye movement, as the name itself implies, rapid eye movement, REM sleep. Heart rate and respirations are irregular. Then muscle tone is reduced, and this is a very important effect. Otherwise, he will act in his dream and injure himself. Therefore, that is very important. And we also see twitching of limbs, and the middle ear muscle also starts active during REM sleep. Teeth grinding is another factor that we see in REM sleep and impaired thermoregulation. Therefore, these are some other factors. Rapid eye movement, heart rate and respiration becomes irregular, muscle tone is decreased, twitching of limbs, teeth grinding, impaired thermoregulation, and middle ear muscles are also active. Somehow they say this REM sleep is important for consolidation of memory. Just in the, it is a state of quite active, brain is in a quite active state during REM sleep. It is important for consolidation of memory. Now let's discuss about the 4 stages of the NREM state. The NREM sleep, as I've already told you, 4 stages. The sleep period in it goes through 4 stages. From a stage of light sleep to a deeper sleep. Therefore, when an individual from a state of quiet rest, he lays down, closes his eyes, enters into the state of peacefulness, and he just wants to sleep. And then he enters into the non-REM sleep first state. The consciousness is, first what happens is, when he closes his eyes and enters into a calm, cool state, non-REM sleep sets in. The consciousness is reduced. This is also known as slow wave sleep in an orderly way. The sleep progresses in an orderly way from light to deep sleep in 4 stages. The sleep progresses in an orderly way. It's not that the person suddenly goes to sleep on like that. In an orderly, step by step, in 4 stages. First, it's a light sleep, and then a little bit more deeper, and then into deep sleep. Therefore, it goes in a stage-wise, from a light sleep to a deep sleep. Yes, let's see how this occurs here. The stages of sleep, yeah, your brain activity decreases, first stage. Yeah, from its stage of wakefulness. First you are wakeful, and then you lie down. Then your brain activity slowly decreases, and falling. Sometimes what happens is they feel ethnic myoclonia, that is muscle relaxation is there. It's usually lasts for 5 to 10 minutes. The feeling that is muscle relaxation will be there, and 5 to 10 minutes you will be in this state. All of the brain activity decreases from the wakefulness. You feel in a collapse state, like that all muscle activity is decreased. For 5 to 10 minutes you land in this state. And then going for second state. There's periods of muscle tone mixed with periods of muscle relaxation. That is, muscle relaxation will be there, body temperature decreases, heart rate slows down, in preparation for breathing. Yeah, in this stage, muscle tone decreases, heart rate decreases, BP decreases, and there's a preparation for a further deep sleep. Your body begins rebuilding processes, repair process, tissue regeneration, building of bone and muscle, and strengthening of your immune system. Therefore, sleep is very necessary. If your immune system, all these things will be disturbed if you are not sleeping properly for days together. For 1 or 2 days, nothing happens, but if you are not sleeping for days together, then your immune system will be definitely destroyed. Therefore, this is a tissue repair and tissue regeneration. Everything happens in this year, says 3M, 4M. And then we enter into a state of, then we enter into a state of REM sleep. Here is some muscle paralysis system. You will not be able to get up from the time. It was around 10 minutes first period. And each REM cycle is longer than first period, as I said, it's only 5 to 10 minutes. First REM cycle. In the first cycle, it's only 5 to 10 minutes. But with each cycle, the REM period increases and it goes up to 20 minutes. Yeah, but that's the cycle. Now the EEG pattern, this stage, that is stage 1, EEG pattern, low EEG pattern, stage 1 non-REM sleep. REM sleep, we have seen what? We have seen high frequency, low amplitude. In REM sleep, we have seen high frequency and low amplitude. In this, now we are going in for non-REM sleep stages we are going. Now, EEG pattern in this stage is low amplitude, again low amplitude, but mixed frequency. There it was in REM sleep, it was high frequency, low amplitude. Here it is low amplitude and mixed frequency. Here there is still sensitivity to sensory stimuli in stage 1 of non-REM sleep, but mild to moderate stimuli may not arouse a person from sleep. Mild in stage 1, mild to moderate stimuli he may not respond to mild to moderate stimuli, but a little bit deeper stimuli he will react. And therefore here it is again low amplitude, mixed frequency. Low amplitude, here low amplitude, the amplitude is low only. Here mixed frequency, here frequency is more, here frequency is less, here again frequency is more, here again frequency. Therefore we see a mixed frequency waves. Let's go in for the stage 2 of non-REM sleep. And this is also called as lighter sleep. And here the characteristics of EEG is about the sleep spindles appear. Sleep spindles appear. These are bursts of alpha light. Here, sleep spindles. In stage 2 of non-REM sleep, sleep spindles appear. These are bursts of alpha light. Here, bursts of alpha light. 10 to 14 hertz, 15 microvolts waves. 10 to 14 hertz, which periodically interpret the alpha rhythm. Yeah, this is the alpha rhythm. And then periodically, these waves are interpreted. These are interpreted periodically. We also see K complex, burst, high, low light, high amplitude waves. These are called K complexes. Therefore, in stage 2, it's a stage 2 is a sleep index. Stage 1 it was mixed frequency, low amplitude. In stage 2 it is sleep spindle 10 to 14 hertz. Sleep spindles just in between alpha waves, and also we can see K complexes. Suppose we are shouting at that person or calling by his name or something. This K complex. Suppose you are calling auditory stimuli. If you are calling the person loud by a name or something, this K complexes will be seen in the EEG. Auditory stimuli may result in K complexes in the EEG. Sometimes without any auditory stimuli also they can also occur spontaneously. The K complexes are nothing but 1 or 2 high voltage waves followed by a brief 14 hertz alpha active. High voltage waves, 1 or 2 high voltage waves. 1 or 2 high voltage waves. Amplitude is more followed by normal alpha. and sapphire body followed every 14 minutes. Alpha activity. These are the K complexes. This may be seen sometimes with a, when we are giving an auditory stimulus, sometimes without auditory stimulus also. This can occur spontaneously. Now let's go into stage 3 of non-REM sleep. Stage 3 of modern sleep is characterized that will display high amplitude delta waves. Stage 3 of non-REM sleep displays high amplitude delta waves. These are the high amplitude. The high amplitude is high. Still now we have seen low amplitude, now we have seen high amplitude delta waves. Stage 3 of non-REM sleep results in displays high amplitude delta waves in EEG. Stage 4 of non-REM sleep, dome-like very slow large waves. These are also called delta waves, very slow. These are still slower, same large waves called delta waves. These are non-REM sleep is a slow wave. REM sleep is a fast wave. Very slow. Yeah, it is very slow, large waves from D waves. Deep sleep is a pattern of rhythmic slow waves we see, indicating marked synchronization. Deep sleep is characterized by a rhythmic slow waves, a rhythmic pattern of waves we see, indicating marked synchronization. Mechanisms of production of sleep. Sleep is an active state of brain. The sleep is active state of brain. The EEG itself is showing its activity. Active state of brain, which is different from non-REM sleep and REM sleep. Now, what's the genesis of REM sleep? Rapid eye movement sleep is generated by interaction of neurons, different neurons. Rapid eye movement, genesis of REM sleep is produced. Let's say it's due to interaction of neurons in the caudal midbrain and pons with the neurons in the medulla and forebrain. Therefore, it's nothing but interaction of neurons in the caudal midbrain and pons with the neurons in the medulla and forebrain. Therefore, interaction of neurons causes genesis of REM. Now, generation of non-REM sleep. How non-REM sleep is generated? Interaction of neurons, which are grouped as Dank-Affleck sleep zone, medullary synchronizing zone, basal forebrain sleep zone. Therefore, is the interaction of neurons in these groups of neurons. That is Dank-Affleck sleep zone, medullary synchronizing zone, and basal forebrain sleep zone. Physiological significance of sleep. It serves as a body's rest. It gives body rest to the body, and also it helps in metabolic restoration. Sleep helps in body's rest. Otherwise, all the time if you are doing the work, the body will not have any rest. Therefore, there should be a sleep pattern has been designed to give body a rest for some time. And there's also metabolic restoration. Certain forms of learning also sleep is necessary. It is also necessary for mental well-being. Mental well-being, you seem to be disturbed if you are not able to sleep for the whole night, and if you learn for the exam in the next morning, you'll be in a state of confusion. You may not be able to recollect what you have read. Therefore, sleep is almost necessary for mental well-being. REM sleep plays an important role in homeostatic mechanisms. Normally, it's very unclear mechanism of sleep. It's very unclear. Brainstem monoaminergic neuronal tracts, locus coeruleus, brachynucleus, and the reticular activating system of the brainstem play a key role. All these things play a key role. It is a monoaminergic neuronal tracts, locus coeruleus, brachynucleus, and the reticular activating system of the brainstem play a key role. Functions of sleep, the main functions, some we have already discussed, and midfield function, neural maturation, facilitation of learning and memory, retention of memory. We have seen somehow it is necessary, sleep is necessary for that coordination, clearance of metabolic activity in the wake brain, conservation of metabolic energy. Yes, these are some of the memories are Memories are consolidated or stored. Mechanism. Ability to concentrate and pay attention is restored. Sometimes if you sleep for some time, your concentration levels may increase. You may be able to pay more attention. Muscles repair. So when we are sick, we need rest. We want to repair is more rapid when sleep. Then metabolism is regularized. Better mental health and physical health. Definitely mental health and maintains better mental health and physical health. If you spend the sleepless nights together for 1 week, will be totally out of your mind and your physical health will also be destroyed. Basic theories of sleep. Currently is that the sleep is caused by an active inhibitory process. Inhibitory process, it is mid-pontine area. This year, mid-pontine area. Inhibitory process, mid-pontine, this is mid-pontine area. It is caused by an active inhibitory process, mid-pontine level. Center, they say a center is located. A center is located below the mid-pontine level of the below the mid-pontine level of the brainstem, mid-pontine level of the brainstem, and causes sleep by inhibiting sending inhibitory signals to other parts of the brain. And center located below the mid-pontine level of the brainstem is required to cause sleep. It sends inhibitory signals to other parts of the brain. It is sending inhibitory signals to the other parts of the brain, below mid-pontine level. This has been proved by an experiment. Suppose you take a section, transect the stem at the level of the midpoint, and then if you take a section at the brain never goes to sleep. If you take a section at the level of the center is below the mid-pontine level. Therefore, if you take a section at the mid-pontine level, you will create a brain that never goes to sleep. Neuronal. The other theory is that the neuronal centers and neurohumoral substances also have a role in causing sleep. Neuronal centers and neurohumoral substances also have a role in causing sleep. The most conspicuous stimulation area for causing a natural sleep is raphe-nuclein. The most common conspicuous stimulation area for causing almost a natural sleep is raphe-nuclein. Raphe-nuclein in the lower half of pons and medulla. Yeah, raphe-nuclein. Raphe-nuclein in the lower half of pons and medulla. Lower half of pons and medulla. Many nerve endings of these fibers. Many nerve endings of these fibers that produce neuron secreta, neurotransmitter serotonin. And this is responsible for the inhibitory nature of this thing. Almost causing sleep. Inhibitory signals such as serotonin. Therefore, almost a natural sleep is produced by stimulation of this area. It is a natural sleep in the lower half of pons or raphe-nuclein in the lower half of pons and medulla. And other areas which cause sleep are some areas in the nucleus of Tractus solitarius can also cause sleep. And stimulation of rostral part of hypothalamus promotes sleep. And also diffuse nuclear stimulation of diffuse nuclear thalamus may also produce sleep. Therefore, raphe-nuclein, Tractus solitarius, rostral part of hypothalamus, and diffuse nuclei of thalamus. These are the 4 centers which may cause sleep. Out of this, the raphe-nuclein causes almost natural type of sleep. Now coming to the applied physiology. What is insomnia? Insomnia is a lack of adequate sleep. It may be a chronic or it may be active, acute. Chronic insomnia may be due to some reason, maybe they are due to no apparent reason. Just like idiopathic hypertension, it may also not have any reason. There are several varieties of insomnia. The delay in the onset of sleep, inability to sleep. Delay, you may not be able to sleep quickly. As soon as you lie down on the bed, you may not be able to sleep even for 2 to 3 hours after lying down on the bed. He may not be able to sleep. Unable to stay in sleep, that is, in between he gets up Continuous sleep is not there. In between, he'll be getting frequently disturbed. Very arousal from the sleep. Very early arousal from the sleep means that he can quickly he may be getting up at 3 o'clock or something like that if he wants to get up at 5 o'clock or 6 o'clock. And like that it may be. Treatment of insomnia, benzodiazepines are extremely popular, but they are habit forming. Therefore, that should be given only for short people, and continuously taking their drugs for sleeping. This insomnia, they become a habit, and it become a stage may come when the person cannot sleep without taking the drug. Therefore, it's better to avoid habit forming drugs at least. Only in certain cases, you should prescribe them. And the narcolepsy is another sleep disorder, irresistible desire to sleep. Irresistible desire to sleep. The person cannot sleep, he cannot stop from sleeping. Irresistible desire to sleep. Episodes of sudden sleep occur. Individual goes to sleep while performing daytime tasks. This is called narcolepsy. That is he cannot stop from sleeping. The desire is so strong. Episode of sudden sleep. The individual goes to sleep even while performing daytime tasks. Cataplexy is some narcoleptics. The profound reduction in the muscle tone. Irresistible, that is it. The person cannot resist sleeping. Therefore, in those, that is called as a narcolepsy. But in some narcoleptics, what happens? Reduction as well in the muscle tone occurs. And this is a muscle tone is usually characteristic of REM sleep. But here the consciousness is not lost. In REM sleep, the person is not having consciousness. Here the consciousness is not lost. There's a desire to sleep. At the same time, the muscle tone is also decreased. And this picture we see in the muscle tone is the decreased picture we see in REM sleep, but there the consciousness is not here. Here, the consciousness is not lost. This is, suddenly the individual becomes paralyzed, falls to the ground, and here the person is standing. Here, irresistible desires and profound reduction in the muscle tone occurs. Irresistible desire to sleep. There's a weakness in the muscle tone. Tone is decreased. He falls down. Weakness in the limbs and trunk. He falls down. Therefore, here this cataplexy, the difference between the narcoleptics and cataplexy is that the tone is also reduced. Therefore, he suddenly falls down. Dream-like state during wakefulness is another mode of manifestation of narcolepsy. Dream-like state, narcolepsy described as a hallucination. Dream-like state during wakefulness. Person is wakeful, but there's a dream-like state. This is we describe it as a hallucinations. Some sleep disorders that are associated with non-REM sleep. Sleepwalking. These episodes may last for several minutes. Such individuals walk with the eyes open and avoid obstacles, but when awakened, they cannot recall them. These episodes may last for several minutes. They walk with eyes open and avoid obstacles, but they are not aware what is happening. They cannot recall the episode. They just walk in their sleep with eyes open, and even any obstacles come in the way, they can avoid the obstacles and walk it as if we are walking with eyes open. But when awakened, they cannot recollect anything. Bedwetting, involuntary voiding of urine. These are all concerned with non-REM sleep. This bedwetting, involuntary voiding of urine from children during slow wave sleep. Slow wave sleep is a non-REM sleep. Nightmares. These occurs in slow wave sleep. Again, a non-REM sleep. And individual wakes up screaming and appears terrified. Bad dreams that occur during REM sleep are slightly remembered. These nightmares can also occur, bedwetting can also occur, and all these things, night walking, sleepwalking, all this can occur in the non-REM sleep. REM behavior disorder. This REM sleep is not associated with inhibition of muscle tone. Usually REM sleep, what happens, its tone is reduced. Therefore, even if he's dreaming, he cannot act out of the bed. But in this REM sleep disorder, behavior disorder, we call it as, this REM sleep disorder, what happened? Inhibition is not associated, the muscle tone is not inhibited. Therefore, what happens is the person can even come out of the bed, he can walk out of the bed with visual imaginations and motor events matter, that is walking or something like jumping out of the bed, and all these things can occur, and he may land into some danger. This is REM behavior disorder. The difference is that the tone is not reduced, and therefore he walks out of the bed in his dream and he may danger himself. Therefore, it is called hypnoid myoclonia. Hypnoid myoclonia. Fatal familial insomnia. It is a serious condition in which worsening insomnia occurs. Insomnia, it increases day by day. It increases. The person is not able to sleep. Therefore, what happens if days together the insomnia is there, is not able to sleep? Then what happens is the autonomic and motor functions, etc., derailed. Motor functions are derailed, and then tremors and all these things set in, and the dementia results, and eventually death occurs. And this is a very serious condition. Days together without sleep is a very serious condition. All these motor and functions will be affected, autonomic functions affected, dementia, all these things, the remembrance will not be there, not be able to think properly, and all these things. Eventually death occurs. It is a progressive disease that occurs as in both as inherited and sporadic forms. This is a fatal familial insomnia. Anxiety and emotional stimuli. Suppose a person is more anxiety person, highly irritation, anxiety, and highly emotional, disturbed for each and everything. These persons can land into insomnia because these things are released epinephrine, and this causes activation of RAS, reticular activating system, and makes sleep more difficult. Therefore, anxiety, emotional states may lead into sleep disturbances. But it's better to keep calm, avoid anxiety and emotional disturbances. Therefore, this may also be a hindrance for your sleep. Lesions in sleep promoting centers can cause intense wakefulness. Lesions in sleep promoting. Discrete lesions in the raphe plate. Medial rostral suprachiasmal area in the anterior hypothalamus leads to high level of wakefulness. Lesions in sleep promoting center. Discrete lesions in the raphe plate and medial rostral suprachiasmal area in the anterior hypothalamus leads to high level of wakefulness. Okay, thank you. This is all about sleep. And you better read sleep. Sleep is also important for examination. And you better be thorough with your theory. Because when you come back, you'll have a lot of work with the records and the logbook fillings and all these things. And whatever the practicals you have to do directly, all these things. We have to teach you the skills and all these things. Therefore, you have to be thorough with your theory. If you are thorough with the theory, then it will be better. A lot of tension will not be there regarding theory. We will not have much time to read when you come back. Okay, thank you. I hope you have understood this. Meet you in your next class. ఇది ఇందులో డిలీట్ చేసేయాలి.